If you just have a quartet and you want to use wireless, then it can be done this easily. I'm going to plug in one wire and it's going to work, I hope. So we've got 4 microphones, and we have the wireless microphone receiver, which is listening to the 4 microphones. And then this is the FM transmitter, and I've got a radio. So we're going to plug it together and see what happens. So in a minute, I'll show you exactly which ports I'm plugging into which ports. But let's wireless mic, a receiver that's listening to it, and then audio coming out the back, going into the FM transmitter, and the FM transmitter is transmitting to this area, and then the radio is listening to it. So 15.2 means a particular frequency, like maybe it's 579.3 or something like that. We can see that the microphone is on. If I turn the microphone off, watch what happens. So that's how it shows that there's no signal. There's no connection anymore. So I'll turn it back on. And now it's connecting. And there's a little audio indicator. So these panels are helpful because if one of your singers are having trouble, you can tell sometimes if they've muted themselves. You can tell if their battery is really low. On the back, we have these antenna ports. Okay, it has to have antennas. And then there are 4 XLR connectors here, 1 for each mic. And then there's one that says mix out right here. I plugged this straight into the FM transmitter. FM transmitter, this guy has an up and a down button, so I can broadcast on different frequencies, but I wanted it to be on 103.7. Generally, you're allowed to run an FM transmitter that can reach about 200 or 300 feet. If you get a super powerful one that can reach miles and miles, then you're breaking the law. You're not supposed to do that. If you want more control over the sound, or you're starting to have more people, or you're going to use wired mics, then you start to want a mixer. This mixer is called a Zoom Live Track 12. I'm going to plug them into the back of the receiver. Okay, now this time I'm not going to use that mix out port anymore because now I've got the 4 XLRs plugged in. So now instead, the sound is going to go into the mixer, and then from the mixer, it's going to go into the FM transmitter. So even with a group of 4, some reasons that you would want a mixer, you have better control over the volume of each person. You can adjust like treble and mid and bass sound. You can make it so that some singers sound like they're coming from the left speaker, some from the right speaker. That's called panning. You can add reverb. There are a bunch of different things you can control once the sound is going through a mixer. And you can record it with the USB. So tap, check, check, check. Okay, I can hear the tapping a little bit. And then the knobs are adjusting the gain knob here. And then it's adjusting the sound a little bit. And then these the sliders here called faders let you control how loud this person is relative to the others. So in a choir, you could adjust the different people so that they sound kind of blended. And then over here on the far right, there's the master volume that controls how loud the entire choir is. If I have another 4 singers, I would go get another box like this. So now you got 2, and some more mics. So if we got more and more of these, we could handle more and more singers. But you see, the mixer only has these 8 ports. So once I have these 2 systems, okay, I'd plug in these 4, and now I'm full. Now what? So if I got a 3rd system, a 4th system, that's when I would start to, if I'm going to use this mixer at all, that's when I would start using the mix out. So that little shortcut that takes just 1 wire out from the back of the receiver, and it plugs into just 1 channel of the mixer. So now you have 4 people going into this 1 box, using up just 1 channel of the mixer. So again, it's not as good as if you have a giant mixer with a port for every single person, but it helps a lot if you want to keep the mixer small and not like taking up your whole your whole table. I have two different headsets, and I actually use both. You can't wear two headsets at the same time. But okay, so this one here is a wired headset that I would plug into the mixer, into one of the mixer outputs where it says phones. So when you're plugged into the mixer, you're hearing exactly what the mixer is going to record. It's the sort of cleanest sound that you could possibly get. So often during an event, I end up wearing these guys, partly because there's no wire, I can run around and do stuff, but also so that I can hear if the radio sound has some kind of problem, even though the mixer sound is okay. So with all of this, it just needs to be good enough so that you can participate, so that you can do it at all. If it's good enough that people can hear each other and they can sing together, who cares what it really, if it sounded the very best it could be.
Yeah, that's really been our major goal here, is to get back the process of rehearsing. Anybody can watch a video of the Metropolitan Opera, or, you know, those beautiful virtual choirs with 5 million people. But this is really getting to do it in real time and hearing the harmony around you and interacting with people in a musical way.